Hello, it's Adam Morrison. When it comes to top-tier contracting, my go-to choice is McGillivray Environmental. I know a thing or two about excellence, and that's exactly what you'll find with Kip McGillivray and his team. They're not just any contractor, they're the best in Spokane and North Idaho. From start to finish, they ensure your project is completed with the highest quality results. With years of experience and expertise, they handle it all. New construction, meticulous repairs, asphalt paving for residential and commercial properties, excavation, and even environmental remediation. So why wait? Reach out to Kip McGillivray Environmental today by calling 208-556-6384 for your free estimate. Don't forget to mention my name, Adam Morrison, and experience the difference McGillivray Environmental brings to the table. Again, that's 208-556-6384, McGillivray Environmental. My number one choice for all my contracting needs. M4 CPA is a family-owned accounting firm passionate about helping businesses and their owners create a secure future for their families. They pride themselves on the quality of their work and put their clients first, ensuring they get the attention and care they deserve. Their mission is to provide exceptional accounting services to help you achieve your financial goals. M4 CPA is all about building long-term relationships based on trust, integrity, and transparency. With a team of experienced professionals, they offer personalized solutions to meet your needs. If you're a Perimeter listener, here's an exclusive offer for you. Mention the Perimeter podcast when you reach out to M4 CPA and get a free business consultation to assess your financial strategies. So, if you're looking for an accounting firm that truly cares about your business, trust M4 CPA. Accounting you can trust with a personal touch. Learn more at m4cpa.com. Welcome to the Perimeter, Season 5, Episode 14, presented by McGillivray Environmental, Idaho Central Credit Union, and M4 CPA. Interesting week. It's going to be an interesting episode. Obviously, a big news that came across right before the Washington State game. Braden Huff with a knee injury that looks like it's going to be close to the season. I don't know that for sure, but 48 weeks, just doing the simple math, is close to the season.
Yeah.
So, we'll obviously get into that. And then we had played a game without Graham Ike as well. And I thought it was a terrific effort, but we'll talk about that. We'll preview a little bit Pepperdine, and then talk about San Francisco. But it's the weird WCC season where we've already doubled up with some teams before we face the better half.
Right.
I just don't understand it, but it's here nor there. It's the last year doing it. Some teams get the short end of that stick too. Ask Seattle U, they played us, and then had to fly to St. Mary's in 2 days. Earlier. You know what I mean? So it's just weird how they don't balance it out. But it's like I said, it's here nor there. But obviously, we play the game against Washington State, and Huddy and I drive to that game, and the team buses down early, and then they check into a hotel and do their normal team meal, normal routine. And right when I get to pick up Huddy at the Yokes going down towards Pullman, at 195 or whatever. He's like, "Did you hear the news?" I was like, "What news?" And he's like, then he told me about Braden. I was like, "Holy shit!" You know what I mean? Like, it's just a weird, kind of somber thing, because at first you think, like he sprained his knee.
Yeah.
But from all the accounts that I got, it wasn't like a play where it was like obvious, but he was obviously in pain. Was what I got. So, it was unfortunate because you're like, these kids having such a great season. He was first in field goals made, top 5 in field goal percentage in the country, averaging just under 18 points a game on only playing less than 26 minutes. Nobody plays over 26 minutes, which is crazy, right? You're just, and then the type of kid he is, in this program, we recruit, high character guys.
Yeah.
And it's not a cliche. We really don't get any like shitheads, and if they do, they find the door pretty quickly. They find a way to leave, right? Yeah. And just because it's not what Gonzaga is about. And so you just feel for that. Now, is it like catastrophic in the sense that like it's a career ruining? No, but it sucks that he was having such a great junior season, especially first year starting, and the fanfare that
how big of a fan favorite he is. I've talked about him. If you've listened to this show the last 2 seasons, I've been banging the drum for him to play more.
Yeah.
And it became more of a joke, but it wasn't a joke. You know what I mean? As far as like, why does he only play 17 minutes and he's got 14 points and he's 5 for 7? You know what I mean? Like 6 for 7. And, it was more of a joke, but like you could see how they're doing the rotations and blah, blah, blah. Like it made sense. But so that part was like a gut punch, just like hearing the news. And then, just naturally as an athlete, you go to like, okay, I tore my ACL. He didn't tear his ACL. I'm not saying he did not do that. Okay. But you go to like, oh shit, man, just like the dark side of what did I feel like right after that? So like, you're just thinking of how he would feel as a player, as a kid. So it was a weird drive down. Obviously, we're on the periphery, me and Huddy. We're close to the program. We're on the periphery. But, like, getting to the team scout and everything, you get to see that it just was a little bit down, right? Everybody's had the dark cloud over him, and rightfully so. And to his credit, he came down to that game. Obviously, people saw him on the bench. But it was frustrating. Everybody's just frustrated. But few in the staff did a good job of, refocusing the guys for the Washington State game. Hey, we still got a game tonight. We got great players in the room, all that stuff. Guys are going to get more opportunity. So going into the game, you're like, he's terrific, obviously, but we got other pieces. So obviously we got to cover up some things, but this is not like, again, it'll change the trajectory of what will be projected later on, I think, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
Assuming he's not going to play, he could come back. And I honestly I'm saying that with like full disclosure. Like it's 48 weeks, and I think he was going to get an MRI and everything. So like I don't know any pervy information, and even if I did, I wouldn't share it unless it was like supposed to be shared. Mm-hmm. But like it's 48 weeks is what everybody knows, because he's got to do all the testing.
Yeah.
And things like that. But still 4 to 8. There's not much season left, right? You know what I mean? We're halfway through the conference season pretty much. So in all intents and purposes, it might be difficult if he comes back at the later on.
Yeah, I mean, if on the in the things, if it's 8 weeks, it puts him right at the beginning of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and then you got to say, okay, is that how good will he be if that's the case? Mm-hmm. And then you got to think long term for the kid, prevention of an injury, like later on for his total career.
Yeah, because he's an NBA prospect. I mean, eventually, I would
think so too. Yeah. Like 100%. And I've thought that going into this season, just with his skill set and his size is good enough. Foot speed is not great, but it's not off like dog shit terrible. Mm-hmm. And then, he'll have to add a perimeter shot a little bit, at least a threat of it.
Yeah.
But like just the skill stuff, the short roll stuff, that translates to the next level. Would he be a big where they come down and they throw it to him every time? No, but he'd be a backup big, which is nothing wrong with that. And then you find a way, right? You know what I mean? So, thinking of that was interesting. But going into that game, it was like, okay, let's see who kind of steps up. There's a lot of, chances for other guys. And I immediately thought, okay, who are they going to start? Then it was obvious, like Jalen Warley is like the first one. You're like, yeah, but he's going to start in the 4 spot. Like it's no. I don't think anybody would argue with that. It's a no-brainer. Mm-hmm. But then I was like, okay, Izzo might get more playing time. Obviously, that makes more sense. But then my first thought, like, literally went to like, all right, Davis Fogel is going to play meaningful minutes for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
And that, that's exciting. And I think that the fans like that. But it's a great opportunity for a young man to get an opportunity or whatever, and it sucks. It's the way it came about. But that's immediately what I was like, okay, so do you play, he eats up some of those minutes. Obviously Tyon gets some of those minutes, but you just kind of spread them out.
Yeah.
So going into that game, just seeing how they were going to start, like what the emotion of the team was. And we started off kind of slow. But that's a team that's like jacked up and ready to go in Washington State, and it's not like we weren't ready to go. We just missed a couple shots. But Jalen Warley defensively was like unbelievable just to start that game. Like he had 3 steals, a block. He forced a jump ball, which to me should be a stat.
Yeah,
a tie up. I don't know if it is, but because it didn't turn into a turnover, but he forced that type of play. That's all within the first sequence of before the first media timeout. I mean, he was all over the place.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm bringing it up, it kind of calmed everybody down and just kind of was like, okay, we're going to be fine. It's everybody's feeling a little, the daubers are down, all those things, and rightfully so. And it's not just a basketball thing. It's like you feel shitty for the kid. You're like, damn it, man. And especially for those, his teammates and obviously the staff, they're friends with him, so it's even sucks when worse when you see your boy down. You're like, damn it, man, this fucking sucks. I hate when people get injured. It sucks. So him kind of having that impact just brought the emotion out of, all right, we're fine. And we kind of just shrugged our way through that first half, but they had just that one stretch where the Hildenbrandt or whatever made 3 threes in a row.
Yeah.
That was about the only thing they did in the first half of any kind of significance that made us like a little bit worried. They made that one run, and then we just kind of controlled it. We're up by 10 in the first half. They actually shot it not bad, 12 of 25, 8 of 15 from downtown. Washington State was. We were 53% from the field, 3 of 9 from downtown. But it was funny. My point is they hit 8 threes in the first half. They shoot 48%, and they look up and they're down 10. You know what I'm saying? So like it's like, all right, we're fine, guys. Like obviously, we'll figure this out. Graham had a bad start, and then started rolling once he made his first field goal. Had a good first half.
Yeah,
and then kind of same in the second half. It was 43-33, and then it went 43-32 in the second half, and we just obviously controlled the pace of that game. We out rebounded them by 14, which is terrific. We didn't turn the ball over. We had 16-8. Turnover ratio. The 14 steals is a crazy number to me.
Yeah.
So defensively, the thought was, and this is not a knock, but the defensively, and people can maybe disagree with me, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. We're probably more dynamic defensively, and that's not a knock on Braden. But as far as with smalls like Jalen out there, you could throw Manny at the 4 spot, Davis at the 4 spot, like the small 4, but 4 guards, 4 perimeter players. We could switch almost everything.
Yeah.
And I've said it a million times, and especially if you listen to our broadcast, our best teams defensively were the ones that could switch 1 through 5. And if you look back to our 17 team, the team that lost to Texas Tech, that was one of our most athletic teams, obviously the 21 team. What did we do defensively? We switched almost everything. The only outliers in that were like when we had Drew, and Drew worked hard on defense, but like in pick and roll coverage, he didn't plug or anything like that. He usually showed, and we just scrambled out of it. And then I think on that 17 team, I think we had, I can't remember if it was Shimmy, but one of our bigs, we couldn't switch everything, but like J3 you could switch.
Right, yeah.
Tilly you could switch. You know what I mean? Like, so top to bottom, BC, Rui, all those teams, you could switch everything. And then if you want to put Corey at the 4, so whatever, go ahead and run a ball screen against us. Gives a shit. We're going to switch. You know what I mean? So that my point is this personnel now has that kind of makeup, and it showed against Washington State. Obviously, they're not a great scoring team, but they just really couldn't turn the corner on anything against us. Graham was terrific in the second half in totality at 23 and 11 and 5, 11 and 15, really paced us. Adam Miller had a terrific game, had 3 threes, 13 points, 5 rebounds. But the 17 offensive rebounds was terrific. Like I said, plus 14 on the glass. We shoot it okay from 3, 6 to 16. It's not the best. It's not the worst. We shoot exactly 50% for the game. We hold them to 9 of 27 in the second half. That's where I'm saying the defense was just flying around. It really shut them down. And then we, got them kind of off their 3-point shooting a little bit better. They go 5 of 13, but they go 13 of 28 overall, which is terrific. They shoot 40%. So obviously we drop that number down. So if you're them, you're like, shoot, we made 13 threes. We shot it well in the first half, and we still got kind of essentially blown out by 21.
Right.
And they're missing their best scorer at the time, whatever. One of their best, the Graham and Braden are the same numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really proud of the guys, because like I said, emotionally, you can just feel the downness. And like I said, you feel for the kid, and it's not career ending. I'm not saying that, but it's just the season he's having, and then having to wait and see if he can come back. It just sucks.
Yeah.
And he's a fan favorite, and he's fun to watch because it's like the 66% from the field is not just fucking layups.
No.
It's 12-foot floaters. It's turnaround jump hooks. It's the offhand, right? Everyone, he's starting to shoot the three better. You know what I mean? It's a skill-based 66%.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yes, he gets duck-ins like they all do. It's the tip balls to himself when there's a bad shot, and he kind of tips it across and like quick lays it up. Like, that's smart basketball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what you want bigs to go steal 6 points a game on just instinct plays and soft hands. So that part is not fun, obviously, but sports or injuries are part of sports, and you got to kind of move on and deal with them. We've been lucky in the past that we haven't had a major one in a while.
I was going to say,
Shimmy was the last one when he hurt his back at Washington State. And then other than that, if you really think about it, and I hate even talking about it because I just hate the, throwing out in the ether, you know what I mean? But, like, we haven't had one on a main player in a long time.
No.
That, somebody that's extremely productive. Yes, we've had guys that what if or whatever, but that's part of it, but not one of your main dudes. So we had to adjust a little bit. So, obviously getting that win in Pullman was terrific, but then they had a quick turnaround and go to Seattle U. And so, like I said, this WCC schedule is so whacked. This doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so they get on a flight, go to Seattle the next day. I had to drive back from Pullman to get on a flight. And then so we show up, we're staying at a nice hotel. We do the normal, routine and stuff. And Graham's not playing today. And it's like, oh, you know what I mean? He tweaked his ankle late in that Washington State game, and he battled through it, but he tweaked it. And he missed another game this year. Who was it, like North Florida or something?
Yeah, it was a game against a really...
A bye game. Yeah, it was a bye game. It was in North Florida or something like that, where because he's had foot issues in his past, so like he's doing the right thing, and the staff is doing the right thing of making sure they don't hurt it further. But it was like, oh crap! And so going into that game was really interesting. Just like going to the scout because it was like, okay, Graham's out. And what I like, one of the things I like the most, there's never a panic feel. So like when it was interesting, it's just like, oh, okay. So then you can just tell guys are like, oh, I'm gonna get more burn tonight. And so then the feel was like, hey guys, we gotta like be really like vocal, and we got to pick up the slack maybe for some other guys defensively who haven't played a ton, you know what I mean, or have some weaknesses, and that's what good teams do. You have certain players and certain teammates that you might have to help a little bit more, or you have to talk a little bit more, or you have to, KYP, you only throw it to them on certain spots. Doesn't mean you don't like them, you know what I mean? But like if you're a good team and a good teammate, you'll understand what your teammates' weaknesses are, and you'll make adjustments to that, and you'll play to their strengths. So it was like, okay, Izzo's going to get a ton of burn, and he's been good for us in the past, and he's obviously serviceable. But we're going to play probably small tonight in certain areas, and so we're going to be flying around. And I think because they don't have to announce it, but they didn't wait until I think it was an hour before the game, and then obviously when they see Graham in a boot, so they had no idea. They probably were working on like their double team package that they were so good at the first one, blah blah blah, and it's like, like it was just a weird look because they were like, oh, so how do we prepare for this type of deal? And I was just super impressed with how much we flew around, especially early. Didn't shoot the ball well, but defensively, TLU just didn't have any rhythm. Just because, like I said, it was like you could switch 1 through 4 really good. And even Izzo is good enough to shuffle his feet and hard trap or a hard show and shore up everything else. And our guys just had a great look about their intensity and wanting to, kind of pick up the slack. and our bench was like going nuts, dude. It was awesome.
It
was crazy, yeah, because all the coaches were ears. On the broadcast, wide-eyed, bushy-tail. That's what my high school coach, Glenn Williams, used to always say. You need to be wide-eyed, bushy-tail. You don't want a cat's about ready to fight. You know what I mean? Same thing, like ready to go. And that's exactly what they were doing. So I loved it. I thought it was fun because it was kind of old school Zags where we didn't really have an inside presence. So guys were like taking jumpers that we haven't seen in a long time and making them. Like Mario was taking those. Davis Fogel took a couple that went in, and he had a terrific game. You know what I mean? But it was more old school, and like Coach Few had to like wear it. He couldn't like yell at guys for some of those mistakes.
Right.
And so it was just fun. Like I was just really impressed with how hard they were playing. And we were up 8 in the first half, shot it terrible, 13 of 32, 3 of 10 from downtown. But we hold them 9 for 26. So my point is, like, the fact that we didn't have a rhythm offensively, and you kind of expected that, right? We haven't played this style in a long time.
Yeah.
Not in a long time, and I'm talking like seasons. So, like, obviously there's a package for playing small, but if you haven't run it in 3 months, you probably put it in August just to have, and good programs put it on the stuff and have it ready to go. The guys are probably like, oh yeah, it's a little bit different. It's all small ball. There's no ducking on the weak side now. You know what I mean? Like we're spraying it out. We're attacking closeouts. So I was just super impressed with our defensive effort. We controlled the glass. Remember, they went +1 on us. It was the only other team, them in Michigan, where they out-rebounded us. So they went +1 on us in Spokane.
Yeah.
And obviously, they probably should have beat us when we go to overtime in that game. But we go 44-24, +20 on the glass. We outscore them by 13 in the second. We hold them to 50. They shoot 35%, 5 of 21 from 3. Remember, in the game in Spokane, they made a ton of threes.
Yeah.
That's what kept them in the game. And we actually climb ourselves back up to 46%, go 15 of 28 in the second half. 6 of 18, that's not great, but it's not terrible. Remember, like I've said before, kind of effective field goal, 3 points, 3 times 6, 18. So you're getting in theory, you're getting a point a shot. It's not the worst, not the best. But we had guys who had great games. Jalen Warley was terrific 2 games in a row. He has 14 and 4 steals. Davis Fogel was terrific. So has 13 and 6 in 25 minutes. Has 3 steals himself. So it was nice to watch him play the extended minutes. Grant Foster pitched in a nice game, 9 and 9. But Mario St. Cyprien probably had the best game. He had 20 off the bench, played 24 minutes, goes 4-6 from downtown, 7 of 10, 4 assists. The only number that I didn't like to see, and it's kind of funny, Huddy made it a good point, is we had 15 turnovers. We forced 18 for them, but 15 is a big number for us. And we had all guards on the floor. That's why it's kind of funny.
That is funny.
You know what I mean? Like, the time we get all the guards, we're throwing it around the yard. But super impressed. Obviously, Graham's going to be fine. He'll come back. But just how our guys responded. Is this how we want to play the whole season? Probably not. Obviously, you want, your 18-point-a-game scorer in Graham EK.
Yeah.
Who's had, 11 double-doubles or 12 double-doubles, something crazy like that. You want him back, and he will be back. But I was just super impressed with their willingness to kind of lock in and defend and kind of take the belief out of a team that should have beat us. And, was it our greatest offense performance? No, but the fact that we score 71, we hold them to 50, and we kind of just grind it out. I was super proud of that group. That it was just fun to watch. Because like I said, it was old school. Our bench was all over it. Our guys were flying around, like diving on the floor. You know what I mean? And, it was nice seeing Davis get some run and responding and scoring, 13 and 6, like I said. I think he's going to make the most of this opportunity. For him, like you said, everybody's always, how come he doesn't play more? He's gotten time as the season's progressed. And obviously with this injury with Braden, he's going to get but in the last 2 games in Washington State, he played fine. He's got to be solid, and then the talent will eventually show, and that's what it did in CLU.
Exactly.
When you come in, just be solid, fly around, but don't make too many mistakes, especially defensively.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you make mistakes defensively, that's when any coaching staff gets mad. But if you just slow down a little bit and make all the right reads, your talent's going to shine through. And that's exactly what he's done the last 2 games. And so super proud of him. I think he's going to be terrific in this new role. And then Mario had a terrific game. Manny played solid too. He had 7 and 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of interesting to see. And we got to give Izzo some credit. He had 8 rebounds. You know what I mean? Like in less than 20 minutes. So he played serviceable and did his part. So going into Pepperdine, here's the question for me. And we play tomorrow, right? Wednesday.
The Perimeter will be right back after a word from our sponsor.
It's time for Home Team Rewards. Zag fans, get your Bulldog branded ICCU Premier Rewards Visa credit card, the only card where you can earn rewards for everyday purchases while giving back to Gonzaga University. Choose from a Visa Rewards card with a lower rate or a Premier Rewards card with maximum rewards. With no annual fees, card control, and next-level security, you can spend smart from tap to app. Zags, rejoice! Find your card at iccu.com/gozags on approved credit.
Going into Pepperdine, here's the question for me. And we play tomorrow, right? Wednesday. Do we sit Graham out again? Because Pepperdine's not very good and play the same way. I think you do. If the injury's similar, and then get him ready for San Francisco, St. Mary's, and those teams coming up.
Right.
So you might see on Wednesday another small ball special against Pepperdine. I mean, let's look at Pepperdine. What do you have them? They're 271 in the Kempom.
Yeah.
So we've already seen them this year, and they're not very good. And I mean that. I don't mean it. I don't care how they. I mean, if they probably don't listen to this shit anyway. Who gives a shit? But they're not very good. I mean, they were way better last year. They had Mo Odom and just their guys flying around. The first time we played them, they looked. They didn't play very hard.
Right.
And I hate saying that, but that's like the worst thing somebody could say about you as a player. You don't play very hard. It's like, ugh. And that's so. My point is, do we give Graham another 2 days or whatever it's going to be or whatever, which I think is valuable because he's going to have to play a ton of minutes. Now, the real question is how many minutes can we steal with him when he's back? Because I think in the Washington State game he played 36.
He did, yeah.
You don't want to play him 36, in my opinion. Is he capable of it? Yes. I want him playing 31, right, over the course of this rest of this go. So how do you steal those another 9 minutes productively with other guys? And like I said, obviously Davis could do it. Tyon has shown that plenty of times. Manny at the 4, and then obviously Jalen Warley. You know what I mean? So it'll be curious how the staff goes with the lineup and mix and matches certain things. But it's going to be more grind this year, just straight kind of a team effort deal. And obviously missing Braden for the foreseeable future. We have no idea when he's coming back. There's going to be some games that are not going to be as easy to win.
Right.
You know, I mean, it is what it is. So like I said, I'll be curious to how they go against Wednesday. That's the only recap or preview for them you need is, are we going to play Graham or not?
Yeah.
Probably going to win either way, but I wouldn't be surprised if we go into the small ball deal again like we saw against Seattle U.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, if this seems to be a lingering issue with Graham because he did sit out the North Florida game, and then last episode we talked about how he was on a roll in that last game. We're like, why did he comes out a lot? He comes out and has to sit, and it makes sense now that he might be nursing something.
Yeah, and I think too, it's just the past history. He's not injury prone because he's had two. What is this? His third season with us, or two healthy seasons. But it's always something that I think you have to be cautious of, especially big guys.
Right.
More weight on their limbs and all that stuff. So I think it's just caution.
Yeah.
And so we're not saying he ain't in shape or he's. You know what I mean? It's not anything like that. But you have to start thinking long term. And so I'm serious. Like, do we play small ball again? My vote would be yes for Pepperdine because it's Pep.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, man. But it's Pep, and God bless them. But and then you get ready for San Francisco, who's 105 in the Ken Palm that can turn into a quad 2, and is a good team, and it has always given us not issues, but they have a pretty good staff and they're very analytical. So they're kind of like Santa Clara, where if they get rolling, they're tough to beat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they usually have a pretty decent plan. And they're always more skilled than the other WCC teams. Then so you want your other big back. So I think that's what's probably going to happen on Wednesday. And then I think we play Friday or Saturday. I don't know, whatever the day is. Graham will be for sure back against San Francisco, and hopefully we're at full strength in that capacity against them. And like I said, San Francisco got some good players. I'm just thumbing through their numbers real quick. They got 4 guys that average double figures. Nobody's crazy. They shoot it not great from 335, and then they don't really shoot it real from the field 44. So they're a little bit down this year, but they're +6 on the glass. But they're 13-8, so they're not bad. Right? They're just always a team that you kind of have to, be weary of, but they don't have no signature wins. Well, Mississippi State, I guess you could count that. They lost to St. Louis. St. Louis is really good this year. Lost to Oregon State. That's not a good loss. But
They're kind of all over the place.
They're all exactly. I'm looking at their wins and losses, and it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, good way. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? So we'll see how that goes, but I'm almost positive that EK should be back by then.
Yeah,
I think it's a minor ankle thing. But again, like I said with Braden Huff, and I'm just being completely honest with our audience because we appreciate people listening and trusting it. I don't know anything else, and even if I did, I would have to get the clearance because I'm not going to say anything that's not clear for the kid, right? You know what I mean? Obviously, I'm not a company man, but I am at the same time. There's a certain things, but it's literally waiting on an MRI. It's waiting to see how severe, but it's not like career altering from what I understand.
Yeah. So
I just want to make that clear. It's not like, oh my God, poor, you know what I mean? But it's also like, yeah, timetable, it's going to be tight. So hope for the best. But we've got plenty of good players, and this is why you have depth. So this is always the argument. Yeah. And some people have argued that we have too many guys, and I've maybe inferred that a little bit too. But, when you have something like this, then you go, okay, we just go, we got a top 40 kid that's played 6 minutes a game. Now he's going to play 22.
Yeah.
And he just had 13 and 6 and 9, right? 6 for 9. You're like, that's why you have it.
Yes.
So, you know what I mean? And you got Jalen Warley, would start for most teams in the country and was coming off the bench. Now you see how well he's played those 2 games. Where he just gets to kind of fly around and be himself, be a point forward. I don't even know what he is. He's just a player. So it'll be interesting, but all in all, I was really impressed, not just because we got the wins, but it was the emotional aspect of the news, and then the response to it was terrific. So I was proud to be a Zag after that was cool. The week. It was cool, man. Absolutely.
Learning about all this stuff like as it's happening, like because I'm getting texts from people like, Braden Huff's out, and I'm like, I don't know anything either. Like, I'm finding out all this as everyone else is finding it out, and I'm like, well, we got an EK. Like, we're good.
Yeah.
And then when Saturday came along, and we're in the middle of a Seahawks game, and all of a sudden EK's out. I'm like thinking like, yeah, what is the game plan?
Yeah.
And it was really cool to like just watch them
just fly around.
It
was just like a pure
cool.
like flying around. Kind of old school Zags, just guys shooting jumpers, like kind of playing crazy. So that aspect was good.
Real quick about the San Francisco game. So I'm probably putting too much stock on this game, but this is the last time we're probably playing San Francisco in the Kennel, and we've talked about this a couple times on the show. This is the last time they have an opportunity to win in the Kennel since like the 80s.
The 80s. Yeah, since like in 1988, right?
And yeah, I think I was looking for
it. It's 88.
It's 88, okay.
Yep.
And I was like, we're going to get the best effort from them this Saturday.
Yes, so that's why I think going back to what I was saying is we need to save Graham for Wednesday against Pepperdine and make sure he's ready to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were going to get their best effort. But that's one of there's a bunch of crazy stats with Gonzaga because, we've dominated this league for 25 years or whatever it's been. And one of the crazier stats, not just because of that, but it was previous, is how the F hasn't a team won in Spokane since like 1988. It's crazy. Like, we were good, but we weren't that good.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, where it was like auto wins. I remember we blew them out my freshman year in the Kennel, and Jordan Matthews' dad was the head coach at San Francisco, and we went on like something stupid, like 25-0 run in the first half. He literally took his chair and moved it by the scores table and just sat there with his arms crossed like this as we were like blowing him out. Didn't call timeout because he was so pissed off with his team's effort. So like they called timeout and he just like let this assistant, and then like obviously he was a screamer and yeller, but it was awesome. He just sat there and like, I remember that game like it was in the old Kennel, the original Kennel. But anyway, that's one of those crazy stats that you're like, how have you not dumbed into a win since 1988 in Spokane? What is it about Spokane in general for this program? But they did it.
Also, one of the last, I wouldn't say last times they gave us a really good shot at the Kennel was actually your last game at the Kennel.
It was the senior night.
And we beat them 75-72, and you scored 34 points.
Yep.
But the reason I bring it up is I was watching the Mark Few show, and they were showing a package of like highlights from past games. They were talking about the history of us versus San Francisco, and then I was like, I remember watching this game and how like close it was and how like on the edge of their seat I was, and but it was just. It isn't a rivalry, but it is like there's some hatreds there.
Yeah.
For them.
We've had some good games against them. The year before, my sophomore year, I had a game winner. And then so we ran basically the same set that talking about that my junior season game, and a guy slid over, so I threw it to Pierre. What was his name? PMAC. Pierre Marie Altidore Cespedes. Yes. And he hit a 3, and I don't think he made a 3 all season. That's not a knock, but he was like shocked that he shot it and made it. And we win. It was like senior night. Like, dude, we can't lose on senior night. And then it was cool. It was the JP Batista where they brought his brother. He hadn't seen his brother in 3 or 4 years or something like that.
Oh, wow.
So it was a cool moment. It's one of the all-time moments in the Kennel. So he's doing his senior night speech, and they bring his brother behind him, and then he just starts crying. It was cool. It was like one of those cool deals, but it was cool because we won late. They had some good teams back then. They always gave us trouble. We lost to them my sophomore year. Yeah, my sophomore year at San Francisco. I got benched after that game. I didn't start the next game. That was a interesting deal. I've told that story before. Yeah, I wasn't very happy. It worked though. That was my sophomore year. I went on. I think at the last 10 games of the season, I averaged like 26 or something like that. But I remember talking to Tommy Lloyd about it. He's like, "Well, see, we did it. We had to piss you off." I was like, "You guys are assholes, man. One bad game and we lose, and I'm the guy that has to sit." Anyway, so yeah, San Francisco is always a good team. But yeah, it should be a good week. Hopefully, we're ready to go.
Well, getting to like our McGillivray's Foundation Player of the Week. The question I want to ask is, who was the player that glued his team together with Huff and EK being out against Seattle?
It was Warley. Just his defensive effort and his flying around. He had 4 steals in each game. I think I said 4 and 3. He was terrific. I mean, just his presence on the glass. And then he's such a matchup problem, especially in this league. What do you put on him? You put a big? No, he can't. You put a guard? He's good enough to kind of body guys. And then you just see his court vision in transition. You have to keep reminding yourself, it's like he's a guard. So like we're playing him as like a hybrid. And I was trying to think of a comp. One of the assistants asked me after the game, it's like, what's Jalen's comp? And I was trying to think of an NBA one. And the only one I could come up with, but he was obviously a better shooter, but I was trying to really rack my mind because I don't think that his position exists anymore as far as like not taking perimeter jump shots as a perimeter player. But like Sean Marion, where he was like, a hybrid 4, is he a 3? But Sean Marion could make that corner 3, like he could shoot. It just looked weird, but if you look at his percentages, they were good.
Yeah.
But like just like kind of he does everything good. You know what I mean? He slashes. He gets rebounds. You could trust him in the open floor. He can make plays. Like and that's the best one I could come up with at the the top. Maybe you should have people in the comment section like a Jalen Warley comp. Like somebody just think of a Jalen Warley comp of a professional player, somebody else that kind of does everything, but they're like perimeter shooting is not the main thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But like, so yeah, I just think those two games, especially the Washington State game, him being able to settle us down defensively, get those steals in the first, it just calmed everybody down because we didn't look very good the first 4 possessions down.
Right.
Offensively, we were just stagnant, and that's going to happen in any game. But then you compound what the news was before.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he was just terrific, and then he did the same thing against Seattle. You had some terrific defensive plays, so he's going to be instrumental on how well we perform from here on out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The thing with him is, can he stay out of foul trouble? Because he is better, when he's flying around and obviously on the floor. And same with Graham. Like foul trouble, which we never really had to worry about this season, is going to be more of a thing to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Graham understands that, and so does Jalen. But there's times when if you're watching the game and you see one of our guys with 1, and they kind of just let a guy go by him, what is he not trying? It's like sometimes you just, if you're out of position, you don't even put your hand. You give up a 2. You know what I mean? Because you just got to be on the floor. Now, with the depth that we had before, you challenge everything. That's the point of having depth. So, anyway, Jalen Warley, definitely the McGillivray, players of the game for sure, no question.
So going to our M4 CPA set of the week, we're at 18 wins. We're on the verge of having our 29th straight season with 20 wins.
That's insane.
And I dug this up. I believe we were playing. I forget who we were playing. It came up when we were playing Oregon, because Oregon's had a run of 20 win seasons, and then I was like, I had to go look into the history of it, because I'm just like, it's been forever. 28 seasons is a long time to have 20 wins. And then I was like, well, when's the last time we've gone under 25 wins?
Yeah.
The last time we've gone under 25 wins was 2007.
Yeah.
And we had 23 wins that year.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, and I've used that stat. Maybe it's the wrong thing to do when people ask me, like, I've made it clear, like, if you ask me in August how the Zags are going to be, because I don't really know,
right? Nor
do I care. You know what I mean? Like, your guess will be as good as mine, because you're going to be reading the same thing I'm reading. But I've literally said, well, 27 years, we won 20 plus games, so I think we'll be all right.
Yeah. No.
I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like, yeah, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because again, sometimes I don't know, but people don't realize how difficult that is, just in totality. And then the 25 would be what, probably 27 or 26 of those years. You know what I mean? If you're thinking all the way back to that first streak that you mentioned.
Yeah.
So that's crazy as well, because then you're getting into the 25. Usually then you have single-digit losses.
Yeah.
Every year, which is crazy. So, like, remember last year we were, whatever our record was last year, everybody's like, oh, my God, we've lost a ton. I'm like, it's the first time we've been over like 5 losses, guys. It's okay. Right. I get it, but we're a pretty good basketball team. We're going to be fine, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, that's a great stat, because, again, we appreciate people listening to the show. We love the fans, but sometimes we got to remind us how great it is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't those things don't last forever. Hopefully it lasts as long as we're doing this deal. But at the same time, like, there's some programs that have a streak like that of 5 years, and they're like, oh my God. And then they have one down year, and they're just like, oh yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It does, yeah.
We haven't had that. So great stat of the week.
Yeah, I was I've been holding on to this one, because I was like, I'm not going to bring this up when we're at 12 wins.
No, yeah, good call. I would have been like, all right, we're editing that one out. Ask me a new one. I would have been like, yeah, let's get the edit button out real quick.
The next question, I'm not sure who asked this, but it came up on my, like, as an alert on my phone from one of our places, and I forgot to write down who wrote it. But I was like, this is a fun question, because we we talk a lot about NCAA basketball rules, and our Ask Adam Idaho Central Credit Union question of the week is, what is one NCAA basketball?
The Perimeter will be right back after a word from our sponsor.
It's time for Home Team Rewards. Zag fans, get your Bulldog branded ICCU Premier Rewards Visa credit card, the only card where you can earn rewards for everyday purchases while giving back to Gonzaga University. Choose from a Visa Rewards card with a lower rate or a Premier Rewards card with maximum rewards. With no annual fees, card control, and next level security, you can spend smart from tap to app. Zags, rejoice! Find your card at iccu.com/GoZags on approved credit.
Idaho Central Credit Union question of the week is, what is one NCAA basketball rule you'd like to see changed?
It's two. Well, there's actually three that I think would work. I think we should go to quarters. We're the only basketball in the world, like on the planet, that plays halves. There's no other girls, boys, high school, pro. Why is it high school or college girls goes to quarters now? Like, why are we in halves? So I think if you went to quarters, you had one media timeout, 4 10-minute quarters at the under the 5, it would just simplify it. Because how many times do we see a coach's timeout and then another play and then another timeout? How annoying does that get to watch that?
Yeah,
it does. It just breaks the flow. And then sometimes, like, especially tournament games or like even conference tournament games, they extend those breaks another 30 seconds because it's more ad time. Sometimes you're in a timeout for 3 effing minutes.
God, yeah.
And then you just had a break. Like it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
So I think quarters, going into the fourth quarter is a real thing. Like it adds drama to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think quarters, it just makes completely sense. I don't know why college basketball is the only sport that does it, but it is. And I guess if you want to be unique, but it doesn't make sense to me, just go 4 quarters. The women's game changed, went to it, and it's been better for the women's game. And then, like I said, every other basketball, if you think about it, you just sit back and think, like, yeah, they all play quarters.
They do, yeah.
It's way better. The second one I would change, and it's from the women's game, but it's a pro NBA thing as well. I think you should be able to advance the ball once on a timeout to half court. It adds drama to it as well. So, like, you're down 2, you get a rebound, you can call timeout and advance it to the half court. It's an NBA rule, and then they add it to the girls' game. I think it's just and you only get one. You get a pick. I think it's just a terrific, and then you can pick what side too, which is great. I just think it's a cool rule.
Yeah.
Like, and it adds drama to the game instead of, like, how many times have we seen a good game and they call timeout and there's only 1 second left and they got to throw it the length of the floor. Now, obviously, it's possible, and we've seen the Christian Leitners and all those things.
Yeah.
But how cool would it be? All right, now you get it at half court, and then you can run a real play. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
It just adds more drama. So that's one rule, and they had that in when I coached the Under Armour circuit for the girls. They added that.
Oh, nice.
And it was terrific because you always had to remind yourself. But we had a couple situations where we were getting pressed. Oh, we're going to advance it, and then, you know, you have the whole floor to you. You know what I mean? It's just a nice little coaching thing. Oh, we're up 6. We don't have to throw it in at 90 feet. Now we got the whole floor because you can throw it in the back court. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, we have 2 over here, 2 over here. Now you have to play us 2-on-2 in the half court. Good luck. One of our girls is going to get open, get the ball fouled. Game's over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, it just adds a little bit more, you know, strategy to the game. I think it's a simple rule. And then the last one, I think if we went to quarters, I think 6 fouls would make more sense. I think I've said that for years. I think 5 is just too slender, and I know it's not the pro game, but people want to see the best players on the floor.
Yeah.
I hate when somebody gets too early, especially in the NCAA tournament game, and you kind of have to go, okay, we got to take them out. Like, it's just I've complained about it for as long as I've been on radio.
Yeah.
I just think it just affects the game too much. And there's so much variation in officiating in college basketball from region to region. That's the other reason to have it. So then if there is that variation, you're not getting screwed over as much. And people don't like hearing that, but the game's reffed sometimes differently on the West Coast than it is in the Big Ten, right?
Yeah.
And whatever. So, like, they'll tell you it's not. It is. So if you had those 3 rules, I think would be terrific. But the quarters thing, I think, makes most sense. I just don't understand why. Because, again, like, when you look at the last 10 minutes, obviously there's only 10 minutes left in the game. Do you feel different? You feel different when it's like going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, for sure.
It just feels different.
It's very.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the games, the quarters become little mini games themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I've talked about it. If you listen to our broadcast, all right, we got to win the next 5 possessions. We got to win the second quarter.
Yeah.
All right, let's go win the second quarter. Okay,
Definitely.
It's just, it'd be so much better. I'm surprised they haven't done it. Like in the, the Thanksgiving tournaments, because sometimes like the preseason NIT used to always change the rules.
Oh, okay.
They do one year they did the wider lane. I think one year they did the extended 3-point line, whatever. Like they always change the rules a little bit just to experiment, and I think the NCAA does it to see. I'm surprised like Maui, or not Maui, but one of those kind of lower end tournaments. I don't mean that disrespectfully, but to get some more eyeballs.
Right.
Hey, let's play quarters this tournament.
Totally.
And all the coaches be like, yeah, it's still a 40-minute game.
Yeah, it's like NFL preseason. They always like implement some test rules.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. That's what I mean. Like, why not? And test it out. But yeah, great question. I think there's a lot that can be fixed with NCAA basketball, and I think quarters would be fantastic.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
it just
totally
makes
agree.
sense.
It is, yeah. Well, we kind of teased it last week, and today we're going to announce we're giving away, thanks to McGillivray Environmental, thank you to Kip. We're going to give away 2 tickets to an upcoming Gonzaga game.
Fantastic.
And we don't know which game it is yet, but it will be a February game. But this year we're asking, all you got to do to enter is leave a review of the Perimeter podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And here's the deal with those two. Apple Podcasts, like there's written reviews. Like you go there, write a review, leave us 5 stars. That's going to count as an entry. On Spotify, there's only a star rating system available. And you have to listen to an episode. So if you listen to it there, go there, click on the 5-star, take a screenshot on your phone, and then DM it to us.
Okay, perfect.
And also leave a comment. Leave a comment on the show, on an episode that you listen to, and that's another way we'll be able to find that you've reviewed the show. But yeah, we just want to flood our algorithm with new reviews.
Why not?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like I listen to a ton of podcasts and I never leave reviews, and it's like actually made me realize like I need to go review my favorite podcast. And if you're listening to the show, like it really just helps get the show out to more people. The more current like reviews we have, the more this episode gets to other people.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And it's recommended. And so yeah, just go leave us a review. Send us a DM letting us know you left a review. And that will also get you entered. We want to get some people telling other people about us.
Yeah, no, we appreciate McGillivray Environmental. We had the ticket giveaway last year. It was awesome for whoever won it. I met the guy afterwards. He was cool.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, what's up, man? And it's just cool for a chance for people to go, and it's pretty simple to enter. But like you said, like and subscribe. Everybody hears that review. It does help us.
Mm-hmm.
And we appreciate people listening, and we appreciate McGillivray Environmental for being so generous. But, we're lucky we got great sponsors that actually like engage with the audience. And that's why we've grown and been able to stick around for 5 seasons. If we didn't have an engagement, the Zags are popular, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You and me wouldn't be doing this if we didn't have great sponsors and actual like real listen.
Yeah.
Like we have real listens. Like we have a good number.
It's great.
And we want to continue it, obviously. And I like talking Zags. I like being critical a little bit. I like being real. But also it'd be nice if you guys were like, hey man, the show's good. Thumbs up. So anyway, appreciate everybody listening. It'll be an interesting week next week because we'll talk about what style of play we played. We've had some time to decompress from the Huff injury, so we'll have some interesting take on how the teams looked. So yeah, thank you for our sponsors, McGillivray Environmental, Idaho Central Credit Union, M4 CPA. See you next week.